Where is this magical lump sum of money coming from? Hundreds, bitch, hundreds, and I'm not being hyperbolic. Hundreds of this exact same comment and sentiment in the comment section of this video, which you can follow back for context, is a repost of the same video I made 2.5 years ago on my original account. And I reposted it now that I'm at the 3-year and 4-month mark. Across both videos, which to date are my 2 most viral videos in 6 years on this app. We're close to 7 million views. And what's especially sad is that dozens upon dozens of people have come to either my defense or their own, having been in similar situations themselves, and having had to explain why this is not a reality for everybody. And I don't know if the people that continue to make these comments are willfully ignorant, didn't pass first grade arithmetic, or have some sort of cognitive disability, okay? I'm not here to be ableist, so we're going to hold your hand and we're going to include you in the conversation, and we're gonna explain this to you for the nth time. As I said preemptively in the video itself, if I cannot afford to pay rent, how then can I afford to move? Okay, that's number one. Last year, when I was trying to move back home to Orlando, Florida, and realized that I couldn't afford to do so. I could not afford to fail. You still have to get on an aeroplane, bitch. Number two, assuming you don't have a family member or a friend's place to land at until you can find yourself your own place, what does one need when they move into a new place? I'll give you a second. I'll give you a hint. First month's rent, last month's rent, security deposit, a pet deposit. Average cost of a studio in this country, I'll wait, $1,500. You know what the average cost of a studio is in Orlando? $2,300. That rivals the cost of the average studio here in the Bay Area. I could not afford to fail. Something you don't need when you live in a major metropolitan area like the Bay Area is a vehicle. Something you do need when you live in a major metropolitan area like Orlando is a vehicle. Who's gonna buy me a car? Who's gonna insure it? Who's gonna pay for gas, maintenance? Assuming I haven't found work in this new location that I'm moving to yet, who's paying for my food, my medications, my day-to-day household expenses, whilst I look for work? Who's paying for my gas while I go to interviews? Who's paying my rent if I don't find work in the first 30 days? I'll wait. Oh, but you're looking at very expensive places to live. No, Orlando is where my home was, where I knew people, where I had family. I looked at 3 other states in the middle of America, couldn't afford it. Do you want to know how much it cost to move, just move from point A to point B from where I live in Oakland, California? Was $3,500 to $5,200. That includes the plane and the relocation of those items. So if it costs on average $3,000 to $5,000 just to move from point A to point B, and the average cost of a studio in middle America is $1,500, first, last, security deposit, let's just round up and say $5,000. You're looking at anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 just to move. So riddle me this, Batman. We're gonna try this again. My rent is $1,800, it's rent controlled. I've lived here 14 years. In the Bay Area, that is essentially like living for free. So you're goddamn right I'm gonna put up a fight, number one. Number two, if I can't afford $1,800 a month and I'm, let's just say 3 months behind on rent, I can't afford Wi-Fi, which I've shared. I rely on hotspots from the library. I would say my phone is disconnected several times a year due to non-payment. I can already not afford to get to interviews 9 times out of 10. I already struggle to afford to do laundry. I'm still so fucking baffled. I'm white. I'm able-bodied. English is my first language. I'm pretty fucking intelligent. I was already able to represent myself in an eviction case last year for this same reason without an attorney, and I was able to get it dismissed. Doesn't mean that process can't start over at any time. I'm actually expecting it to. But with all of those privileges that I'm situated at the intersection of, I still have been living below the poverty line, and yes, see my video on poverty looks different for everybody. I've been living below the poverty line for almost 5 years. I'm not even talking about mental health right now. I have family, not family with money, but I have family where I can land. Not everybody has that privilege and that luxury. I want to invite you. I don't know if I can invite you to be a better person, because I think for most of you, like, that ship has sailed. But I want to invite you to look at your checking and your savings account. Invite you to look at your retirement accounts. Invite you to inventory everything in your house that you could and would sell and what you think you would get for it. And then go on Marketplace and tell me what you would actually get for it. Would cost you to relocate from wherever you currently live to another city in another state. I want you to look at where you work and what you get paid. Look at how secure your job is. And then I want you to look at all of that data and ask yourself, if you got in a car accident tomorrow, if you got laid off tomorrow, if your child was ill, how long would your savings last? I can tell you unemployment only lasts 90 days. So how long in your situation would you be able to live without a job, without an income? And would you be able to relocate if you had to tomorrow? I want to invite you to do that math. And then you can come back into these comment sections and try again.